What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a little update review on the Ibanez fan fret 8 string, and just answer some of the questions that you guys had left on the previous video that I was too much of a lazy piece to get back on you guys with. So without further ado, I'll get started. So we're gonna start with Dylan Simon, who asks what amp I was using, and I was using Bias. I'm using, I believe it's the Mesa clone, and I got a pretty dirty, genty tone from the start. But I also there's a little feature where you can. It's kind of like how the Kemper models amps, except you can model like a audio file if it's just a guitar tone. And I did that to one of Tesseract songs to get kind of that like really twangy, like, if I still had it I'd crank it to show you what it sounded like, but I don't think I can access it at this point. But that's what I'm using, and I'm using my own well, not my own cab impulses, but I'm using different impulses than the ones that come with Bias, because the ones that come with Bias are kind of crappy. But yeah, I'm using, I think, red tube, red something, I forget what they're called. I'll have a link or something for those in the description possibly, so you can find those. But that's essentially what I'm using for the tone. We got Bangasal12, who asks, also, do you find some fret buzz in the lower strings when using the higher frets? And I answered this, but I think I may have answered it wrong, or I didn't understand the question. But I'm just going to give you the lowdown on the buzz in general. And essentially, if you're playing anything down here, anything low, if you have the action set low, it's going to buzz, unless you have a really good setup. But then you're going to be playing like 10 feet off the fretboard, and that's not going to be comfortable at all. So you're going to have buzz, but when you have when you're playing like a really distorted tone, you're not going to hear it. And when you're playing like a clean kind of twangy tone for like slaps, and it's not the best example, but if you have that tone set up for it, it'll actually, I find that string buzz actually sounds pretty good. It kind of almost makes it sound like a bass in a way, with like the way it kind of spanks, I guess. So I mean, if that's your thing you're into, I mean, my buzz is like shit. I love it. It sounds pretty good to me. So it's, I guess it's personal preference at that point. So onward we go. We have Tave Garcia, who says it's a nice tone and is in the Bias tone cloud. It should be. I'll make sure it is. I'll put the name of it in the video somewhere so you can go search it up and download it. It works best if you have some type of Overdrive software plugin before, because that's how you kind of really get it kind of drivey and nasty and in your face. Without it, I could show you what it sounds like real quick without the Overdrive. So this is with it, and here's without. So you see how it sounds like a little flubbier. The Overdrive just really tightens it up and gives it a nice attack. So yeah, that's the tone. We have Falcons fan 13. No, they won the other game. That's cool. Falcons fan says, this is really cool. I'm curious to see how your guitar is set up. He wants one. He has 2 8 strings, and it'd be pretty cool if I post more stuff playing on this thing. And I guess that's essentially what I'm doing. But the setup is like, it's pretty, like the action, I don't know if you can see, it's like extremely low. Not extremely low, but I'm getting buzz, so it is low. If that's a characteristic of buzz. But yeah, it's set up. Well, I need to get it reset up because the intonation's a little out, and I need new strings as well. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the strings are kind of dead and dull sounding because I haven't changed them since I got it. It's hard to find a set that'll work with this guitar, or not work with it, rather be how it comes stock. You can look. They have the string sizes on their Ibanez website. If you look up this guitar, they tell you each string diameter. But I like Diodario's, and they just don't seem to make a set that comes close. it's always like a heavy top or a light top or something, and it needs to be more even, I guess, if that makes sense. Because we have the, the fan frets, the whole thing. So it works better with you if you have like a regular set. Like it doesn't have to be like a heavy bottom or light top or any of those wonky set. It works best, I find, with like a regular set of strings. But that's basically how it's set up. It needs to be set up. But yeah. Dmitry Efremov is asking, my overall impression after some time has passed, still good? Does it stay in tune well? How about the fretwork? Anything else? And he says, good playing. Thanks, dude. You're the man. But, okay, so this is where it kind of gets interesting. I was feeling buyer's remorse for the longest time, and only because I wasn't able to get the best payment plan option. I ended up paying, which doesn't sound that bad at all, but I'm a poor motherfucker. I ended up paying like $250 a month for it for 5 months. I think it's like $12.90 or $11.99 for the guitar. I was trying to do the 12 months, $100 a month. That would have been a little easier, but because I was paying so much a month, I dreaded each payment, and I was like, I hated this thing more and more just because I wish I'd never bought it. But I use it for band practice, and honestly, it's opened up a lot of doors. I mean, I really wanted to get into H-string just for the sake of being able to fill a bigger role in the band, and I think that it does. I've written songs with it that include, it's not just, the bottom 3 strings. Like, our genre is a little, like, weird, so, I mean, I'm not really chugging a lot. I'm more tapping and using all the strings. But, well, I find that I get a lot of use out of it. I think I said I was feeling buyer's remorse for a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still good. I love it for the most part. There are things on it that are a little weird. Like, he asked if it stays in tune well, and it doesn't. If you are anyone who gigs with it or just takes it from place to place and the environments change even the slightest bit, it will go out of tune. I find it goes sharp most of the time, which, I mean, isn't the worst thing. You can just get like a set of better tuners, because I think these tuners are they don't even have a brand on them, so they're probably like low-end Ibanez stuff. So consider getting new tuners if you're not a fan of tuning all the time. It stays generally in tune well if you're playing, but if you take it anywhere, it'll probably go out if the environment's different. The fretwork is pretty good. I mean, I'm not really a stickler for, or really know what to look for when you use. I think of fretwork. I just kind of think of like smooth frets when you bend on them. They don't, you don't feel like any weird grains when you bend, or like pockets. And I mean, they're all right. I feel like after time they're going to wear, and it's going to need a fret job. But for the time being, I mean, the frets for the guitar are good. If they're any bigger and you're playing chords, they just go out of tune because of the pressure you put on your fingers to hold the strings down. But I think the frets are alright. The only thing I really think could be upgraded is the tuners. And the bridge is cool too. I mean, they're all individual saddles, so it's really nice to adjust. It just takes a long ass time, which is another reason why I'm kind of dreading changing the strings. Something Evil says, "Hail Satan." Rock on. Panic Core G2 said, how much? It was $11.99 and a little more for shipping. I didn't get it with a case. So if you get it with a case, it might be a little more if you have the option to get it with a case. But I think that's all the comments. Let me just go through one last time to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, there weren't too many comments, so. But yeah, no, overall, at the end of the day, I love it. It's awesome for the band I'm in and what I use for it. I used to play, I have it right here. It's not this one. I have my Carvin on the chair over there, but I used to play that for practice. And it's a 7, and I was getting along well with it. But the more songs he wrote, the more I was like, hey, that would sound cool if I had like a really low part. It's just really nice to mess with, and it's if you feel like you can expand your boundaries a little bit more and be a little more creative. I find, at least. It might be a little strange coming from a 6 going straight to the 8, but if you have a 7 and have been playing a 7 for years like I have, it won't be the most crazy change in the world, I think, at least. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think I like it a lot. Oh, I know I like it a lot. I think you guys would like it too. There are some other options you can look into if you want, because in my opinion, it's a great guitar, but the build is a little on the cheap side. I'm not a fan of bolt necks, and the sustain kind of goes because of it. It's a string through, which kind of combats that and helps, but I like a nice set neck or body through or whatever. I forget what the term is, but I prefer that. Again, it just makes it a cheap feeling guitar, bolt on, but it's not. Some other ones you can look into are Legator, however you pronounce that. They have a Ninja Pro, a Ninja Series guitar that is a fan fret 8-string. It's a little more, but I think it might be on par or better in my opinion. So definitely something to check out. That's generally how I feel about the guitar, and thank you for watching, guys. Metal.